colleagues, the video that follows was recorded for the Online Learning Summit at the University of Derby on June the 14th, 2021. I'm a visiting professor there. It formed part of a session on pedagogical research in online learning, a super important topic to me. I hope you'll enjoy it. So, hello colleagues, I'm Professor Gilly Salmon, and I'm very lucky today that I'm talking to Dr. Boban Simonovic. He's a lecturer in psychology at the University of Derby. Now, the psychology team at Derby undertook a full-day Carpe Diem learning design event. During that time, the Carpe Diem used some very well-researched pedagogical processes, including the 5-stage model and activities. Now, Bob's had the opportunity to develop and actually implement many of these concepts with his students. So, Bob, can you tell us about what you've actually done and how it went, please?
Thank you, Gillian. Good to see you again. I teach on a very difficult module, which is investigation analysis with a lot of statistics, and it can be a bit dry because it's all about the numbers. So what we did for the module, we looked at the students' demographic and we created that persona in terms of we suspected that some of the students that are coming on the module are a bit older and they don't have background in research or psychology. So our first task is to work out what material needs to be included to nudge them in the direction where they can actually learn, not just to read and repeat the information. So first thing we did, we created Unit 0 with a lot of material, almost like a background information to the module that starts a week before the module, and with self-assessment. Actually, you can tick the boxes where if you don't have enough understanding to repeat or to reassure students, like that's all fine, but here are some more information that you can get here, so look into YouTube videos and so on. And then we used most of the stages that you presented at Carpe Diem, which I must say they're very, very useful and nudged us in a direction that we didn't think about enough in terms of teaching. So the first thing we did, we changed the teaching context. As I said, teaching statistics is very difficult. So we created different scenarios from the start of the module. We created a fictional character, which is Bobo the Owl, in the forest, thinking about the research, thinking about life. And we've picked a theme, which was a long-term relationship, which most of us can relate to some extent. And all from day one, they follow Bobo on the path where they need to use different methodology, different techniques to analyze the data, both qualitatively and quantitatively.
This was Bob the Owl.
Bobo, because yes,
Bobo.
Bobo the Owl.
Bobo the Owl. He was an owl.
We played a bit stereotypically because the owl in philosophy is almost like a wise teacher. So we wanted students to think, okay, so your teacher knows some stuff, but also has some questions because he's not all-knowing being. So sometimes we don't have correct answers, but we can nudge you in the direction where you can actually find answer, or we'll find them for you if needed. So this all linked to the final assessment, where actually there were several parts to the assessment, and now we merged everything into only one that allows students to prepare and to focus more on learning. We also introduced more teaching presence in terms of live sessions. So this is the module where there are on average 14 to 15 live sessions per term. So each week they have live sessions related to different unit activities, but also a Q&A session where they can come and talk and ask about anything that they struggle with. We can repeat unit activities, do some analysis, discuss philosophy. So it was very helpful for the students in terms of they can actually see faces behind the screen, not just because we teach online. So it is sometimes students, what from the previous feedback was that they want more presence in terms of they want to see live sessions and more interaction. We also created activities that will tap into the cognitive presence of the student, but using different activities and peer assessments, individual assessment. There is also group work where they need to complete the ethics form before they do the data analysis and so on. So this allows us actually to help students build more confidence. So we aim to tap into metacognitive awareness, where students should be aware about their limitation, but also we give them enough tools to build their confidence, stronger attitudes, and so on. What we noticed that students come to this model with some preconception, because students, as you know, they usually talk on WhatsApp groups and so on. So usually students come on this module with this maths anxiety, because previous cohort, whoever was afraid of the module, would say bad things, not bad things, but this module is difficult, it's hard to learn, and so on. So we had to put them rumors from the start, like, yes, it's difficult, but here we are here to help. Here are the tools, don't worry about anything. And I have to say, based on the feedback, so I usually take midterm feedback and then after term feedback. It's brilliant. And this module was written in January, and the first feedback that we got, students enjoyed immensely the scenarios, the activities. I also noticed that their grades increased. So I'm not going to claim that this is because of the new scenarios, and because we don't know, during the pandemic, maybe they're spending more time learning. But I think there is something to the material that we used and how we structured the module. And now I think they're learning more effectively. There is also what I've noticed, the discussions board are more lively, so they are more likely to engage in the discussion board. They are less shy. They're always the lurkers or the ones that are not engaging. They are there, and now we actually encourage them to send questions before the live sessions if they're shy. So actually, they get at least some sort of interaction if they don't want to speak in front of students.
Well, do you know, Bob, I think that's an absolutely tremendous result from your first run for it. I think, can offer my congratulations for using so many of your brilliant ideas. And then the students have really give you an affirmation that it was worth that effort, I'm sure. Can you just tell me any absolute key insights that you'd offer for others if they wanted to have the same success that you've had, especially in what's considered to be a more challenging topic?
I have to say, working with learning designers, that was brilliant. I mean, the input that I got from Marius Jackson was fantastic, and we worked together. So I can't claim that this was all me. Most of it, yes, but it's almost like, in psychology, we overthink things and we think a lot and we digress. So he was like that nudging force that would say, yes, Bob, that's fantastic, but how about a student? Are they going to be able to follow your train of thoughts? And then I had to stop myself and reflect. Well, yes, to some extent. So I had to change my narrative. Working with learning designers, I think I would recommend.
Okay, well, that and it takes a village, doesn't it? It takes a team effort, and as academics, we're not always used to that. So I mean, that's a great insight. Thank you very much. So I do wish you well as you carry on with this. And I look forward to you'll being able to do your statistical comparison in the future of what you're really achieving, both in terms of students' results and happiness almost with this topic. Could be a great impact in the world. So I wish all the best to Bobo the Owl as he flies forward into the future. Thank you so much for talking to me about it today, Bob. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gilly. It was my pleasure.